Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking the time of being here on a Sunday afternoon with the sun, finally, after many days of rain. So
Yes.
Thank you very much for being here. Well, the question is actually a very simple question. It's like, why on earth anybody would want to ask such questions like, who am I or who is in? It's like, it seems such an absurdity to ask a question like this. So I want to start with a little bit of a guided meditation, just few minutes, so that we can get into the space to look if it really doesn't make sense or it makes sense to ask this question. So I will guide you. Just close your eyes. Find yourself in a position that is comfortable without getting tense or slouching, or just be normal. And close your eyes and feel your body. Just feeling your body. And without changing anything, without doing anything in particular, you don't have to be aware of the way you're sitting or the way you're breathing. Just allow your attention to naturally, spontaneously be aware of what is happening. So really let go of any effort, let go of any particular direction of intention. Simply allow yourself to be sitting where you're sitting in this moment, and your awareness to notice what is happening. And just relax into being here. And as we sit together, you might notice that you have certain sensations in the body, and that you are aware of these sensations, whatever they are. They might be in your legs, in your belly, in your shoulders, in your head. Doesn't really matter. Just notice that your attention has the capacity to recognize that there are sensations, and also to recognize that these sensations keep changing. So one moment you might be more aware of the way you are sitting, and then the next moment you might be more aware, for example, of a particular sensation in your belly or in your back. And the next moment you might be aware more of the fact that I'm talking to you and that there are sounds. There is a sound of my voice. And then maybe you can be aware also of the fact that together with the sensations, there are thoughts that come and go, whatever they might be. Maybe there is the thought about what you are experiencing, or the words that you are hearing, or maybe there is a thought about, well, what this is all about, with a question mark. And perhaps there are some feelings also. And this is what happens in our day-to-day life. Now, as we sit together, I would like that you start noticing something that probably you have noticed already many times, that the experience keeps changing, that there is some sort of movement in the way transformation, change in the way we perceive our reality. It's something that keeps moving, keeps transforming. Sometimes there is a thought, sometimes a feeling, sometimes energy movement in the body or around us. And this is actually familiar. This is something that we experience all the time. The flow, the constant flow of experience. And out this constant flow of experience, there is change intrinsic to it. This is something that we, as human beings, share with each other. We have the capacity to experience. And in this moment, each one of us is experiencing his or her own reality in this moment. Okay, and now take a deep breath, feel your legs and your arms, and allow your eyes to open. So I assume that during this very simple guided moments together, you have had experiences. So you had some sort of experience of the way you are sitting, the way you are hearing, the way you are breathing, and so on and so forth. Oh, there is a child there. Nice. Hello. So life, as we know it every day, is a constant flow of experiences. I think we can agree on that, yeah? That it's like what life is about, yeah? Now, our attention is looking, is feeling, is open towards these experiences. So for example, in this moment, I can bring my attention to my chest, and I can feel that my hands are touching my chest. And I can feel that my right hand is much warmer than my left hand. So I have not only the capacity to recognize an experience, but also to really feel into it. This is what experience is about. There is a moment where there is something that I'm experiencing. So, and this is true for every human beings. But now the question is that comes up, which I come from the very beginning of this meeting, is who is experiencing? So we can recognize I'm experiencing my hands. We can recognize there is a body. I can recognize there is a thought. I can recognize there are feelings. But who is this I that is experiencing all this? Now, this is the most fundamental question. And it's a question that we rarely ask, if ever. We ask what is love, we ask what is freedom, we ask what is the relationship, we ask what is freedom, we ask what is success, we can ask what is money, what is sexuality. We can ask a lot about our experience, what happens moment to moment, and our attention is very often completely and strongly focused on single aspects of our life. For example, if you are a mother, you can ask, okay, how do I raise my child? Or if you're working, you say, okay, how do I make the money that allows me to survive and live a decent life or a good life? Yeah. But we hardly ask the most fundamental question, which is, who wants to ask this question? Who wants to be successful? Who wants to be a good mother or a good father? Who is interested in making or not making money? Who wants to get enlightened, if you ever want to get enlightened, or something like that, you know? So our attention, and I would say 99% of the spiritual work, you know, is about aspects of our life, what is called the becoming. You know, how can I become more of this? How can I become less of that? For example, less angry and more loving, you know, less greedy and more generous, or whatever, depending on what is that you want in life. How can I become peaceful? But the question is, who wants to become more peaceful? Who is this I that you might have noticed is at the very center of everything? We keep saying, I think, I want, I love, I feel, I go, I do. The object keeps changing, but that I is there all the time, right? It is there all the time. We keep talking and saying, oh, now I am hungry. Now I am loving. Now I am surprised. Now I am confused. But who is this I? So this is the most fundamental question. And it is a question that, if it's not answered, if we don't have an experience, which is not a thought, which is not an idea, if we don't have a direct experience of this I, everything that we do doesn't really make sense. Because we can keep doing a lot in life, but we are not looking at the most fundamental thing, which is this subject. We look at all our objects, we look at our thoughts, we look at all our feelings, we look at our bank account, we look at our job, but we don't look at who is this I. So this question, who am I and who is in, are the most fundamental question that we can ask. And I understand they can also be very scary. For the very simple reason that as long as we ask questions about our life, we are looking outside. The moment that we ask, who am I or who is in, we can't look outside. We have to look inside. So there is a complete turning of our attention towards the subject the one who is living this life, not the life itself. If you want, you can look at it. If I don't ask this question, I keep being a planet circling around the sun. The moment that I ask the question, I am the sun. I am at the very center of my life. I look at all the planets around me. I look at everything that happens around me. I look at everything that happens around me and also within me as phenomena. But I am the center. I'm not a phenomena. I am the one that everything refers to. So this is a most radical change of perspective. That's why who is in and who am I are considered the absolutely most fundamental questions that can be asked. Now, there is another question that comes immediately together with them, which is, what is the meaning of my life? Because if I don't know who I am, what is the meaning of my life? Making money? Having a dog? Going for McDonald's? Be successful? Is that, yes, it for most people can be that. But the real thirst of our soul is not satisfied. Because we basically keep going as if we are accidental. We just can do a lot of things. We can be also very, very, very successful, very, very beautiful, very capable, but we keep feeling somehow that we are accidental, and we are not. Each one of us is here as a manifestation of God. We are not accidental. But we need to own it. We need to be willing to ask the fundamental question. Who am I, or who is in? Now, who am I is the traditional question that has been asked for millennia. And then I think was 87 or 88, I don't remember exactly, in one discourse that was part of a series called the Mystic Rose. Osho one night said, okay, enough with asking the question, who am I? he liked to throw everything up in the air. That's who Osho was, and from now on, let's ask the question, who is in? Which is the same question, a little bit with a different perspective. That's all. And of course, to find out what is the different perspective, you need to ask it. It's not something that you can have a theory about it. So when we do the retreat, who is in, basically what we do is that we decide that at least once in my life, I'm going to give myself the opportunity to have a few days where I don't care about anything else except myself. So I'm going to be completely egoistic, totally here for me, and ask myself this question. Who is in this moment? Who is aware that I am moving my hands, that I am talking, that I am feeling, the warmth in the body? Who is aware that there are birds singing outside of the window? who is aware that there are people in front of me that are looking at me through this strange thing that is called computer. Who is aware of all this? So this is the foundation understanding of this process, taking 3 days, 72 hours, completely for yourself, and going in and say, okay, at least once in my life, I give myself this gift. I'm gonna look inside, and I'm gonna check if I can have a direct experience of who I am. Now, these words, a direct experience, is a little bit maybe difficult to understand, but basically it means it's not an idea, it's not a concept, it's not a belief, it's not something that we have read in books, it's not something that we have heard from other people. It's a moment where you suddenly recognize, oh, this is me. This is who I am. This is who is in. And it's completely personal, and it's completely original, and it's completely you. Cannot be anybody else. Because every manifestation of God is unique. And that's when you start going, aha, that's why I'm here. I'm here because God, the absolute, the primary consciousness, we can call it in many different ways, doesn't matter how we call it, decided that in this moment, in this life, I need to be here. I'm not accidental. Nobody is accidental. Nothing is accidental. Not even a blade of grass is accidental. So, and this changes completely how we experience everything. Because suddenly you recognize, oh, I am the center of my life. I am the sun. I am the one who actually continuously recognize life as it exists, moment after moment after moment. So you are not only needed, you are essential. You are a fundamental part of what is real in this moment. So, I'm going to stop for a moment, and if Sudasi would like to add something, most welcome to do that.
Thanks, Avakal. So I was speaking with Avakal this morning, and I was mentioning to him some people who I've shared the brochure for Who Is In with. Said to me, I can't make sense of it from the brochure, so answer some more questions for me. And when I really thought about that, I thought, yeah, it's hard to understand it from the brochure. But in my experience of it, the first time I experienced the Who Is In structure and process, I found I was able to suddenly slow things down enough of my experience to see a whole lot more about how things were occurring in my life in the way they were occurring. And it was a bit like I was no longer right in the center of the drama. There was some space between the drama and me. And over time, as I experienced more and more of the process, that space has just got more and more vast. And it gives me a sense of myself that is quite unflappable, most of the time, probably. And then sometimes I'm completely flappable, and that's all right. And so I feel like the Who Is In experience for me has been one of creating more and more space in my life for a whole lot of things, and much more clarity around the things that I want to pay and put my attention and my passion towards as well. So not sure if that's helpful, but that's a little bit of what I've experienced of it. My friend who I was sharing the brochure with said, still not ready to sign up. I've got more questions. And so I said, well, I'll ask Avakal a couple of them and let's see, you know, the answer. And look, some of them were really practical. She, you know, one of her questions was, well, just help me understand what's the structure of a day in the process. So Avakal, do you want to tell us about the structure of a day?
Okay. Well, the structure of the day is basically built around the question who is in. So we have few sessions every day where each participant chooses a partner. So two people will be together for 40 minutes, and they will ask each other, changing over every 5 minutes, tell me who is in. So for example, if I'm sitting with Sudasi will ask Avikal, tell me who is in. And I will have 5 minutes to turn my attention towards myself and start looking, feeling who is in this moment. Now, I might not have, most probably I don't have an answer. So it's not about really having an answer, it's about exploring and allowing whatever is coming up in the moment to be communicated. So it is what we call a communication exercise. It's really about allowing myself to say, well, in this moment, I am the one who is moving these hands, and I can feel that there is some energy that is expanding, and so on. So it's a process of awareness about what is happening in this moment. Now, this is, it goes on for, as I said, 40 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, changing every 5 minutes. So this is the foundation, is a communication exercise. But that's not all that we do. So we have dynamic meditation in the morning, and like Osho's meditation, so dynamic meditation in the morning. Then we will have another active meditation in the middle of the day. And then we have Kundalini meditation in the evening. So there are meditations, there are the communication exercises, and then there are spaces where I will invite you to share your experience, where you are in the moment, you know, and if there are particular questions that you want to ask concerning your process, your experience, so that we can keep looking into what is evolving to both as a group and also as an individual. So this is the foundation, the basic structure of the group, and it goes on. Yes.
And that's a very good description. And also, in a very structured way, there's also time in the day to rest. Absolutely. There's really healthy and nourishing food. And as the days go on, there's a sensation of, all my needs are met, I'm being cared for, which I think is a beautiful thing when we're going deeply into ourselves. So there's also those spaces in the day too.
Absolutely. I mean, the structure is based on supporting each one of us to go in. And support is energetic support, food, you know, time to rest. But also there is one gift that I tell the participants, because it's actually an experience that is unforgettable. Basically, you will have regularly 5 minutes to communicate and talk without anybody interrupting you, ever. You understand? Probably it never happened in your life that you can go and say whatever you want to say, whatever you're feeling, whatever you want to share for 5 minutes without somebody say, I agree, I disagree, this is good, this is bad, this I like, this I don't like, this should be different. So a big part of this communication is that we give ourselves the possibility to just be ourselves and communicate what is happening without any interference. And this is about freedom. It's really about freedom, complete freedom to be who you are, moment to moment. And that's something that I can tell you with absolute certainty. I've seen it only happening in Who Is In and Satori. I haven't seen it happening anywhere else, because this process is built for this. Now, do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask apart from what Sudasi has been asking? It's okay to be shy. For example, if I am in my 5 minutes and somebody asks me who is in, I would answer, oh, who is in? I am shy in this moment. I would like to ask some question, but then I'm a little bit, oh my God, what about if I ask a stupid question? Or if it's not intelligent enough? You see, that's how our mind and our conditioning is basically keeping us small. We don't allow ourselves to be adventurous and say, you know what, well, in this moment, I have a question. I don't know if it's good, if it's bad, it's intelligent, if it's not intelligent. I don't care. I ask it. Yeah? So it's really about freedom. 5 minutes of complete freedom. Where do you think you're going to get 5 minutes of complete freedom with somebody listening to you? That's the other thing. Somebody in front of you is going to go, okay, I'm going to listen for 5 minutes. And it's going to be mind shattering, the fact that you will start noticing that we are so similar to each other. Even though we are completely unique, there are certain things, certain what we call problems or ideas or beliefs that we all share. I'm not good enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I should be better. And all this kind of crap, which is called conditioning. So it's not only a question of communicating, it's also a very cleaning process. Is actually we go inside with a big broom, and the broom is called Who Is In, and we start cleaning, cleaning, and you will feel it, because at some point you will start feeling that there is space, that you can breathe deeper, that you are not so judgmental about yourself, that you're not so judgmental about the others, that you're not so scared about the judgment of the others. So it's also a big, we let go of a lot of toxins, that we carry around. Toxins which are in the body, emotional toxins, and so on and so forth. So, any questions before we go for dinner?
Why we have fear in our mind? It is our thoughts, or
sorry, I can't. Can you come a little bit closer? Yes.
Why we have fear in our mind? It is our thought, or we made a state of our mind for fear?
Why we have fear?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I am 2 years old. Okay. And they are called the crazy two, because in that period, children start kind of being a little bit crazy, because they realize that they have legs. and they can jump around and go around, and they realize that they have voice, and they keep asking, why is this? Why is that? And they scream. And so life is overwhelming when you are a child, because it's something that is so potent. And then, of course, poor parents, they have a terrible job. And the poor parents have the job that they have to somehow restrain the child and make the child capable of surviving in a society where that is not about freedom, that is not about uniqueness, that is not about being who you are. It's about being obedient, being observant, being part of belonging to certain religion and ideas. So what they do is that they keep contracting. Say, be quiet, don't run all the time. This is you don't need to do this. You should do like that. And that creates fear. I cannot be myself, because if I am afraid, if I'm myself, I'm going to get punished. I'm wrong. I need to control. I need to repress. This is what society is about. It's about control and conditioning. Now, I can understand it, that to live together, we need some level of control, but why based on fear and not on consciousness? That's the fundamental thing, you know? Consciousness would be much more effective than fear. But all societies are based on fear. Religion is based on fear. So, does it answer your question? Yep. Now, do I like this? No, I don't at all. I simply recognize that this is what it is. This is the reality of where we live. Do I want to change it? Yes. How can I change it? I can only start changing it if I change it here. If I start recognizing that I am not fear. Fear is a program that has been put there inside. But I am not fear. Actually, I'm courage. I'm intelligence. I'm beauty. I'm love. I'm will. I'm strength. I'm not fear. Fear is the absence of love. So that's the other problem. The other question of fear does not really exist. It is a fiction. It's the fact that there is not love. If you put love, fear disappears immediately. It's as simple as that. But because we were not loved, because we were too noisy or too much of this or too little of that, I was not social enough, you know. You can't, how many times I was told, you know, that, oh, you're not social enough, you should be more social, you should be. I love to be by myself. No, that was not okay. So then, of course, you know, then I have to push myself to be different than what my nature is. So and that creates a friction inside. And that friction is what we call suffering. Yeah? If I'm not myself, I'm bound to suffer, because there is this friction all the time. Thanks God, it's not completely all the time, but for many people it's most of the time. And that's what we spend so much time looking out, because if I go in, sometimes I recognize, why all this suffering? What do I do all the time with all this suffering? Why I keep nurturing this suffering? So to go in is an adventure, and is also a responsibility. Because once that you start noticing that you exist and that you are precious, then you really start questioning, wait a minute, do I really want to suffer? Do I really want conflict? Do I really want competition? Do I really want, judgment and prejudices, or what? And that means that you start looking for, well, what is the meaning of my life then? If I don't want all this, if I think all this needs to be transformed, transcended. So it's also a big responsibility. To be yourself is the biggest adventure that you can have in this life, and is also the biggest responsibility. At the same time, is the only way to be free. Unless you know who you are, there is no freedom. There is only repetition. And that's part of the suffering. So, anything else? Siddhartha, anything you want to share? So,
Yes, I want to share.
yeah, I can see that there is some energy there. Then.
Let's Remy go first.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Rika. I just want to ask you, I'm practicing meditation at home as well. I do Nada Brahma meditation. Just reading Osho since last year. I feel sometimes bored while doing meditation. Sitting for an hour, it's sometimes hard. And doing sometimes daily activities and you feel bored. You just like, okay, I try to bring attention what I'm doing, but still thoughts goes astray. It goes everywhere. And it's like, why I just can't bring the thoughts to the present, and feel extremely sometimes bored doing meditation. And I don't know how to overcome that, or yeah. So
Well, what's wrong with boredom?
it's like, yeah, it's too boring, and just like you want to do something, and then just like, yeah.
Well, maybe boredom is actually a friend that is telling you, well, perhaps you want to meditate in a different way, or perhaps what you're calling meditation is not exactly what you need in this moment. Like, for example, for me, I don't meditate 1 hour a day. I meditate how much I meditate. Sometimes can be 3 minutes, sometimes can be an hour and a half, sometimes it's the whole day, simply because meditation, what is meditation? Meditation is being present. It's not a technique. It's about being present. Sometimes I love to cook. That's my meditation, because when I cook, I'm completely present. I can feel, I can smell, I can see, I can create. I am completely involved. I'm not distracted. I'm completely in the moment. That's meditation. You see, there is an idea that we don't meditate. That's not true. We all meditate naturally when we do what we love.
Yeah.
And that's important, that we start recognizing that meditation are not the techniques. The techniques are useful to simply recognize that I can be present. But the moment that I recognize, oh, I can be present, for example, I can be present for a few minutes when I walk, or I can be present listening to some music, or I can be present. Every morning I wash the dishes. I love to wash the dishes. So meditation has nothing to do with what you do. It has to do with your presence. So get rid of this idea that meditation is something that they have to do at a certain time, otherwise you cannot understand when Osho says, meditate 24 hours a day. How is possible to meditate 24 hours a day if I have to sit like that and being, forget it. Meditation is pure presence. To be aware of what it is, without any effort of making it different, choiceless awareness. Like in this moment, I am aware that I'm here, that I'm talking to you. I'm aware that there are words coming. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I can feel and know that I'm here. This is meditation. I don't need to sit like this, like a sadhu, Om Shanti, Om, like, I don't. That puts me to sleep. That's good to go sleep, but not to meditate. So meditation has to do with your presence, Rimi.
Okay.
And start noticing when you are present, because when you are present, you feel good. You see, it's very easy to recognize when you're present because you feel good. You go like, oh, wow, I'm here and I can feel myself. What we call blissful state is actually very simple. I am here and I feel good that I'm here. And then I know that I'm present.
Okay. Yeah, great. Thank you.
My pleasure. Yes, Siddhartha.
I just wanted to share about the who is in. I have done 7 days, Satori, not who is in, but the key support I found was I didn't even have to worry about time. Like I didn't have to worry about what time I have to wake up and when have to go shower, when I have to go for lunch. Everything was taken care of. Avika will tell us, go now eat food.
And food was ready.
Yes, and food was ready. And delicious food, the
Yes.
clean food. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. That was one of the key,
Yes.
I loved it.
Yes. Okay, my friends, I think unless there are more questions, I think we're going to stop here. And yeah, if you have any more inquiries and questions to ask, you can contact Ketan or Siddhartha. They are our reference point. And I hope to see you there.
Sorry, just last question.
Yes, yes.
It's starting at Friday 4 p.m. But can we it's gonna start exactly at 4, or we can be an hour and half an hour late, 1 hour,
No,
1.5 hour late because we're working until 4.
Okay, we meet at 4 p.m. in the sense that that's a reference time for people to arrive.
Okay.
But actually, we're gonna start after dinner. So that means that I think we're probably gonna have dinner at 6:30 or something like that. I don't remember exactly the time. So we're gonna start between 7:30 and 8.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, perfect time to reach.
No
Yes.
worries.
Plenty time. Yes. Thank
No
you.
worries, mate.
Your mate.
I know. I'm an Italian mate.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Nice to see you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.